obviously Brent, you know, just from talking to a few people, he wanted you to step up into that role this year, and I'm sure next year even more. How big has that been for you to step into that role? And how have you had to adjust to that at this point in your career?
Yeah, I've always been a guy who, you can watch me and know that I'm a leader. I don't have to say anything, and my presence is felt. But some people may be, they may not see that. So being able to put a voice, along with my actions, is very big. People will listen. So I feel like that's the key point that he's trying to get across to me is bring other people along with you. Don't just act and expect them to not necessarily, I don't want to say follow, but you know learn from what I am doing. Just speak it and get it to them through that way. So I feel like me becoming more of a vocal leader is going to be very crucial, just in life in general.
Billy, I apologize if you've been asked already, and I know you kind of touched on it up at the podium, but why did you decide that another year at Oklahoma was what you needed?
Yeah, mainly because I'm not necessarily done yet. I don't feel like I've done enough to be able to just make that life-changing decision to just go on to the next level. I want to finish school. I want to grow as a person, as a player. There's nowhere else better to do it than here at the University of Oklahoma and under Coach Venables. So I feel like another year of growth, like Ethan said up there on the podium, is crucial, and it can really be life-changing.
Now, Danny did say that your decision to come back certainly had an influence on his. Are you guys kind of approaching those same conversations with Woody, who obviously hasn't announced one way or another what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Woody a little bit, but I don't know when he's going to announce what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but, that's obviously an experienced guy. Shoot, I don't know what year this is for him, but shoot, he'll be a great asset if he decides to come back.
Sorry to ask this, but we talk so much about the developmental period that these 15 practices are, but you guys have like everybody coming back defensively except for maybe Woody. What does that do for you guys? It's not just bringing the young guys along, but this is 15 practices for this defense to use as a springboard into the spring, next fall, all that.
Yeah, it's big time, and getting these young guys here on board quicker will help a lot too, because you get them to learn from the experience that we have coming back. And then that experience that comes back, it become more polished. Just knowing the details, understanding the details is really what we need to focus on. We're a handful of plays away from deducting those 2 losses. So I would say it's just having the confidence in what we're doing. But by a lot of us coming back, it'll be a more experienced team, and I think it'll really help us going into the SEC.
You got 7 of those signees already practicing with you guys. What are they going to get out of this practice experience? Not all 15 practices, but how's that going to help them be more ready for spring?
Yeah, it'll help them understand, what's ahead of them. They sit through our meetings. They understand how college meetings go. They're around us, so they see how we act, and then obviously they come to practice and they're out there with us, so that they see the expectation early. So when we do go back to Norman, they know what is about to happen. So that's big time. But yeah, somebody just asked me about that, but I would say it's a great thing to do, allow these guys to come early like this.
I'm sure you've been asked about this, but 2 years ago, I mean, you're at the same bowl game, but there's so much different, Obviously, Lincoln leaves. Brent, it gets hired. When you reflect on that game 2 years ago to now, I mean, how do you look at it, and how do you see your growth per se?
Like I said earlier, I don't really know too much about what I had going on 2 years ago. I necessarily didn't really play that much, but as a team, we started off fast, and we started off hot on a good note, and that traveled throughout the game. So that allowed us to get the ball rolling. And so really all I could say is we here now, and I'm focused on what's about to happen, come Thursday.
Yeah. Kind of a final question for you. In terms of what you want to do next year, what does that look like in your mind? And walk me through how you went through that process of making the decision to ultimately come back.
Yeah, well, the decision really didn't have, I didn't really try to attach any expectations come next year. But it's definitely my game has to go up a level. People say the SEC is the best conference out there. Well, we're going to it now, so let's see. But ultimately, I just want to become a more consistent tackler, and I want to become better in man coverage. I feel like those two things will help me, extend my game in the long run, my career just overall. But just becoming more of a confident player and